Shalom, shalom. Brother Donal here, man, coming back with another video for you guys. This is Think About It Thursday, right? Shout out to the brother Azrael for coming through with Wisdom Wednesday on yesterday. It was a mighty lesson, short, quick, but powerful. Today is going to be pretty much the same thing. I'm kind of limbing back off of his message in the sense of, right, just that exhortation of continue to do what's required of you, what's asked of you, continue to do what we're supposed to be doing, right? I think Matthew 6:33 says it best, grow not weary in well doing, for you'll reap the harvest in due season, paraphrasing. Shalom, shalom to the brother Wayne. Brother is on fire, man. You know, he's been attentive. He's been locked in these couple of weeks, man. All praise to the Most High God for that, right? I love seeing brother spirits built back up. Let's see here. But like I said, not too long of a video. The title of this video is, I forgot to title it too. I'll go back and title it. But the title of the video is going to be The Most Slept On Commandment, right? Or what is the most slept on commandment, right? And we're gonna dive into it. Now we know that the whole book, the Torah and the Tanakh, along with the New Testament, contains laws, statutes, and commandments that we're supposed to be following. This particular commandment is going to be found in the New Testament, right? And it's the most slept on, in my opinion, right? Got a few verses here. We're just going to dive into it. And I'm going to share with you guys why I believe it's the most slept on, right? So let's see here. We're going to start off in the book of Matthew, chapter 28 and verse 19, right? Matthew 28 and 19. We're going to read through verse 20. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, right? Baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Right. The emphasis that I want to put on this commandment, right, is the teaching part. It says, this is Christ speaking. This is red letter. It says, go ye therefore and teach all nations. Right. I want to put the emphasis on there. Let's read verse 20. Teaching them to observe all the things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Right. Matthew 28, 19 through 20. The emphasis today is on teaching. Right? Your Lord and Savior made it a point to say, all the things that I've done, you will do, and mightier work shall you do as well. What's the main thing that he did? He went out and he taught. He went out to gather, right? Right? To bring in more people into the sheepfold. And that's one thing he's telling us to do. That's mostly slept on. A lot of us, we get into the truth, right? We get the knowledge. And with the knowledge, we then start to become content, right, or complacent. And we got it for ourselves, and, we'll study for ourselves, this, that, and the third. But one thing that we lack is going out and making disciples, other disciples, bringing other people in, right? We'll watch videos. We might read with our immediate family and our household, right? But a lot of us lack going out actually and spreading this gospel. And that's one thing that is very slept on. And it's one thing that Christ always harped on, for us to go out. Even if you read all of his parables, I would say about 80 to 90% of his parables are talking about going to bring people in, right? And we're going to go over a few today. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 25. Matthew 25 and let's see. I'm going to start at verse 14. We on the real swords, man. We've been on the digital swords for a minute, man. But shout out to the brother Azrael. We got to get back to our real swords, man. So let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse number 14. Emphasis on teaching, right? Now, Christ just told us that we need to go into all nations and teaching all of these people to do what? To keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Spread the gospel. Don't just keep it for yourself, but to spread it. Now we're going to start off with this parable, right? This is going to be our principal parable for this lesson, our staple principle, a parable for this lesson, kind of like yesterday, right? This is going to be Matthew 25 and verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto his goods. Right. So it's saying that it's likened unto a man that is traveling, and he's leaving his estate to his servants. And unto one he gave 5 talents. So one servant he gave 5 talents. To another he gave 1. To another, according to all his several ability, straightway he took his journey. So he divvied out all these talents, right? And then he went on his journey. Verse 16, then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents, right? So he multiplied this, right? So he doubled it. So not only is he got 5 talents, now he has 10, right? Keep in mind, we have to double these talents, right? Verse number 17, and likewise, he that received 2, he also gained another 2. So he turned 2 into 4. Right. So I want to pause right here. When we look into the talents in this parable, a lot of people refer to this parable about, multiplying your talents. Some people have the misconception that it's talking about talents that the Most High gave you, like singing and dancing and things of that nature. Right. It's not talking about those type of talents. First of all, in this parable, these talents would be kind of synonymous with money. Right. And so these talents, right, they really symbolize something deeper than that. These talents might be, and some people might think these are spiritual gifts, like prophesying and the gift of husbandry, the gift of apothecary, where you heal people and stuff like that. All of those are fine and dandy. But what this parable is really saying is, hey, look, I'm about to leave. When I come back, I want you to multiply the talents that I've given you, right? Verse number 18, but he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money, right? Letting us know that talent in this parable is money. And so he gave 1 5, he turned it into 10. He gave 1 2, he turned it into 4. He gave 1 1, and what did he do? He kind of got nervous, man, and he didn't want to multiply. He didn't even want to lose the one that he had. So he dug it in. He dug a pit, threw it in the pit, and covered it up. And a lot of us are like that today. We get in this truth. We get it for ourselves, right? And we cover it up. We don't really wear our fringes like that. We don't spread the gospel. That's the whole point of this message today, right? The title of this video is The Most Slept On Commandment, right? The most slept on commandment, because a lot of us come into this truth and we don't multiply our talents. It's not talking about learning how to sing and prophesy, or learning how to sing and do husbandry. No, it's talking about bringing more people in. We just read we just read out of Christ's mouth. He said, do what? Go and teach all nations, bidding them to do what I have commanded you to do. So now that you got it for yourself, go give it to somebody else, right? Multiply those talents, right? Brother said, talent, a measure of currency, right? And we're like currency to the Most High. The more of us that gather together, the more rich he is, right? Brother said, I'm in the woods watching this good service, surprisingly. And that's through the Spirit, right? The Spirit gave you service, brother. Nah, but for real. So we got to multiply these talents. A lot of us don't understand how deep teaching goes. We talk about it all the time, even amongst ourselves, right? A lot of us don't understand that we get on this path and we know that scripture where it says, hey, look, man, any man that puts his hand to the plow looking back is not fit for the kingdom of heaven, And so when we look at that, what does that look like? You come into this thing, you're on fire. You start doing videos. You start trying to tell everybody in your family, all your friends, all this stuff, right? And then out of nowhere, you get complacent. You get content. You stop making videos. You stop reaching out to folks, right? You stop trying to spread this truth. And when you do that, you start to see your life decline, right? You start to see your life decline. It's almost as if, you have another job. You have a spiritual job. And before you lose your physical job, you're losing your spiritual job first. It's just like any other job, but your employer is the Most High, right? He has a task set for you to do, right? You're supposed to multiply these talents. And if you're not doing that, you're going to get fired. Before you lose your physical job, you have been lost your spiritual job way before that, right? A lot of us get in this truth, and we do what they call in the world, no call, no show. We don't let nobody know we're not coming to work. We don't show up to work. You do that enough, you're going to get fired. The Most High tells us all the time, he can blow out our candle and light another. Oh, you don't want to work? I'll find somebody that will want to work. Right? The brother said, Matthew 6:20, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Con. That's kind of going into something a little bit different here, right? I kind of think I know why the brother brought that up, man. But even with that precept, right, this is how we store up our treasure, right? By multiplying it here on this earth. How do you store it? How do you store it in heaven? You multiply it here on earth, right? So getting back to the parable, but he that had received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoned with them. And so he had received 5 talents, came and brought other 5 talents. So the Lord done came back. He's trying to check his servants like, all right, man, I'm back. What y'all got for me? Right? You know what I'm saying? The one he gave 5 to, he said, okay, he brought me 10. The one he gave 2, okay, he brought me 4. Right? And he gets to the one that has 1. What does he say? He says, right here, verse 24. Then he which has received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, how has that is thine, right? Saying pretty much, hey, look, man, I didn't want to mess up. Didn't want to lose the one I had. So I buried it, right? Because I know you're a hardworking man. You don't want to lose your thing. So I didn't want to lose this one. I didn't even make any effort to multiply it, right? Making excuses. Verse 26, his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. If you're not spreading this gospel, right, you're paralleled to somebody wicked and slothful. You're being slothful in business. You're being slothful in business when you have work to do here on earth. And that is to multiply your talent. How do you multiply your talent? You bring others in. It's not just talking about keeping the commandments. When it talks about multiplying your talents, it's not talking about keeping the commandments and, oh, I kept these commandments. Let me find another commandment to keep. Oh, now I'm keeping more. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about winning souls over, right? Real quick, let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. Let's go to the book of Luke real quick. Luke 14 and verse 23. Let's see. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Another parable where Christ is telling us, hey, look, we need to go out and bring others in. All these parables link up. Multiplying your talent, bidding people to the marriage. We have a job to do right now. While he's gone, we have to work on his behalf, right? We have to work on his behalf. Is there more on that? Go out into the highways and hedges. And, we do this every week, and I encourage other brothers and sisters to do this also, whether that be making videos. We actually go out to the highways and the byways and the street corners, right? We go to the bad areas, the hood, where our people are that need to hear this, to try to multiply our talent. Not to brag, not to boast, right? But to encourage others to do so. And that's what we got to do to get out there to multiply the talent. You can't multiply the talent by just being amongst your intermediate family. You're not going to multiply your talent like that. That's the talent that you already have. Now take that family and go multiply with another family. Now you're bringing in more. So when the Lord comes back and he meets you and he says, okay, you got it for yourself, but who else did you tell about this? Who, like, I need more workers. Did you go and get me more workers? Or is it just you? I can't just have you. I need more. The Most High needs more, right? Let's go to, and that's just showing parables on parables showing the same thing. Let's go to Jeremiah 16:16. Now it's about to get juicy, right? We're about to bring this thing full circle. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16:16. This is a classic, right? Behold, I will send forth many fishers, saith the Lord, and he shall fish them. And after will I send many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, from every hill, out of the holes of the rocks, right? Right now it's that fishing season. It's that fish. Hey, it's time to go fishing. Now check this out, right? When you go fishing, I don't know anybody that's ever went fishing and was content with getting one fish. When we go out to fish, we try to catch as many fish as possible. We might only come out with one or two, right? But we go to try to catch as many fish as possible, right? No one's just going out there saying, yeah, man, I just want to catch one, right? Don't even got to be big. I just want to catch one. No, you trying to go out there and catch as many as possible. This is fishing season, man, right? This is what we're supposed to be doing right now. We're supposed to be going to the highways and byways, the hedges. We're going to all nations to teach them, right? Like Christ said, making disciples from all men. Like Christ said, going out to bid them to the marriage. This is why this is the most slept on commandment, right? We all get these commandments for ourselves. We start obeying the Most High's commandments for ourselves, but we forget to spread the gospel. We keep it to ourselves. And that's the one thing Christ was really telling us to do, was go spread it. Go tell somebody else. There's so many people sleeping in this slumber, and it's high time to wake up. That alarm clock is going off, but a lot of people still sleep. It's like that movie in Drumline, man. Y'all seen Drumline in the stage when he first get to college, right? All of them sleeping like a baby, right? That alarm clock go off. That alarm clock go off, man. And, you know, they're running down the halls telling, hey, wake up. It's time to go. It's time to go. Let's go. Right? On the field right now. That's what we got to do right now. That's our job right now. So many of us are asleep. It is high time to wake up, right? And be fishers of men. I'm going to read that one more time, man. Right now, what season is it? Behold, I will send many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send many hunters, and they shall hunt them. Right now is... It's a pivotal time to where, you know, everything's nice and easy. You know, we ain't really going through too much affliction. And a lot of us are not taking this time we're taking this time for granted. When it comes time for hunting season and your brothers, your cousins, your sisters, right? Your mothers, your fathers are all being hunted because you decided to give up on them. You decided to stop spreading this gospel. Right. When civil wars break out and things of that nature. Right. You can't get mad at nobody else but yourself, because you got to ask yourself, how many people did I try to go out and compel to bring back to the Most High? How many people did I try to compel to bring on our side? Right. When you're looking out, you say, dang, man, we mighty outnumbered. Whose fault is that? Because what did Christ say? Christ said, hey, he's not going to be here to help us multiply. He's putting us in charge of multiplying, right? So when he comes back, you know what I'm saying? We all we got. If we didn't go out and get those souls, man, we got to work with what we got to, right? And we already know it's going to be a remnant, a small number. Why not make the most of it? So when we fishing, man, we're trying to get as much fish as possible, right? Let's watch this, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 4:19. Keep in mind, this was in Jeremiah, where it says that there was going to be a time where he was going to send his fishers out to fish the men out. And Christ is going to bring it full circle, right? This is how you know this is what Christ's whole thing for us to do. The most slept on commandment in the Bible, right? 4:19, Matthew 4 and verse 19. And it reads, and he saith unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Why is Christ saying that? Is he just talking out his neck? No, Christ knows about what Jeremiah said. Christ knows what time it is, right? Christ knows about how Jeremiah said, hey, there's going to be a time where I'm going to send my fishers out. It's not by happenstance. It's not by coincidence where he's telling Andrew and Simon, right? Hey, look, come follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. And it really wasn't even, it was really a rhetorical question, because it's really like, man, I'm really not even asking you. You need to be fishers of men. All of you that are watching right now, we need to be fishers of men. We got to spread this gospel. We've got, 2019 when the pandemic kicked off? A lot of people were on fire, right? A lot of people got it for themselves. Now, a lot of people that got it for themselves in 2019, you start clicking on their stories. You start seeing what they post, right? You start, analyzing a lot of things out here. A lot of people done went back to their normal lives. A lot of people, they might still be in the truth, but they just keeping it for themselves. They're like that one that got that one talent and he dug it underneath the earth and did not multiply it. There's still many brothers and sisters out here that will receive this truth, but you'll never know because you didn't go and spread the gospel, right? That simple and plain. Where were you at? So yeah, he said, go and make them fishers of men. This Christ bringing it full circle from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Jeremiah said there's going to be a time where, hey, I'm going to send my fishers out. And now Christ is saying, hey, look, now I'm making you fishers of men. After Christ said that, Jeremiah 16:16 should have came to your head, and everything after this, you should be like, oh, I got to pay attention now because now he's about to make me a fisher of men. Now I get my task of what I need to do, right? Now watch this. Let's go to the book of Romans chapter 12 and verse number 1. And we almost out of here. We got 2 more verses, right? It's important to know this, man. It's important to know that this is what it means. What did she say? Let's see. Let me start back multiplying. I need a zeal refill. And that's all of us, man. That's all of us. I personally feel like there was a spiritual, what do they call it? A principality that went out, and it just really put that, for lack of better terms, slothful spirit on all of the people that know this truth. That all the people that are, waking up to these commandments, is put a slothful spirit on all of us to where we've gotten complacent and contempt. And that's the number one thing the enemy wants. He wants us to fall off our block. He wants us to stop trying to multiply. Hey, the less we multiply, the less we increase, the more he increases, right? When we decrease, he increases. And we got to keep steady climbing, man. We got to keep trying, even though it may seem like it never works, even though we've had those hundreds of conversations with our parents, our cousins, our brothers, our sisters, and they just don't seem to get it, right? You have to keep watering that plant. If you're growing something, right, it's not going to grow overnight, but you're still going to go out every single day, right, and water those plants, hoping that one day you're going to come outside and you're going to see a harvest, right? We got to keep doing those things. And a lot of us, me myself included, even though we go out every week and we push this truth, I get to a point where I get kind of content and complacent too, right? That's why we're hopping on these lives again. The brother said, Khan, it's celebrities out here going hard. DC Young Fly, Kyrie Irving, Kanye. How much more us, right? How much more us? DC Young Fly just lost his wife. And he out here, hey, he might not know too much, but he out here trying to spread the gospel. He's trying to let people know what it is and what it ain't. That's more than what a lot of us can say. Message on point. Can't hide our talents. We can't hide these talents. We have to multiply them. Not just for ourselves. We got to go out and bring others in, man. At the end of the day, I always think about this. At the end of the day, when you sit back, when you're on your deathbed, can you look back and you say, okay, it started out with me, but through me, God used me as a vessel to bring so-and-so, 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 and so-and-so, right? Can you say that? Can you look around and be like, how many people did I compel? Did I even bring this up to? Or how many times I shy away from the opportunity, right? At my job, at school. How many times did I shy away? I think about all the time my father brought my whole family in. So a lot of times, me personally speaking as a man, I just look at it visually. I'm thinking my father, he's in his 60s, right? He's in his eldership. A lot of time I be thinking my father, he can chill, he can relax. Because through my father, he got to my mom. Through my mom, he got to me, my brother, right? Our wives after that, our kids, our family, our circle group, right? Now we go out into the highways and byways and compel people all the time, right? He planted that seed and he's multiplied his talent. He's at the point right now, we talk about investing. You put something away and you let the interest grow on it, right? You don't even got to touch it no more. That's where he at. That's where I'm trying to be at. That's where you should try to be at. Multiplying that talent. So it's growing in your sleep. Literally. To be honest, it's a commandment to be zealous. Come on, man. We got to be zealous. Revelation 3:19. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Come on, man. Come on. We are literally the do boys of Christ. We're the do boys. Do boys and do girls. When we say we are dead to sin and we're now servants to Christ, right? We sign up for a lifetime of being his fishermen. We sign up for being a lifetime of trying to win souls for him, to get more workers for him. And a lot of times we're showing up. We're not even showing up to work. We get employed by Christ and we don't show up to work and wonder why we get fired. And stuff start going crazy in our life. We start losing our job. People start dying. We losing our friendships, right? Can't make ends meet because you got fired from your job. And now you're starting to see what happens when you get fired from your spiritual job. Just like if you got fired from your physical job, you can't pay your bills no more, right? You can't do fun things no more. You can't eat. Same thing with the spiritual job. You know what I'm saying? We got to wake up and understand what our spiritual job is. Yes, we got to keep these commandments, right? Yes, we got to keep these commandments, but also we got to multiply also, right? And so you wonder why your life starts going down is because, brother, you used to make videos every day and now you got that job and you stop making videos. We get on these lives and, it's like, okay, maybe one person, two people might get it, right? And it might soak in. But that's still multiplying your talents. You did videos every single day. What if that's one person a day and you just stop? And then you wonder why your life is going haywire, right? Brother, you used to go on the street corners by yourself. Your Bible, and your phone, right? By yourself. You got that job and you got complacent, right? You got that girl, right? You got that wife, right? You got complacent. Your life started going back down because you forgot about your first job. When the blessings come, right? You're able to pay for this, that, and the third because the blessings come. Don't forget about your duties in your job. You have an employer still, right? What the brother say? Sometimes we downplay our wisdom like we got it from a podcast. For example, I don't eat bottom feeders because it's not healthy. Those conversations could be how we spread the gospel, right? Everything in this Bible, man, comes to fruition in the natural, right? There's explanations for all of this in the natural and how everything is for our good. You know what I'm saying? Statistics don't lie, right? Your health, your overall health doesn't lie. There's so many avenues of how you can be a fisherman in this truth, how you can get other people. Every fisherman use a different bait, right? There's different tactics of spreading the gospel, but you have to spread it. You got to find a way to multiply the talent, and you can't get weary and well doing. If you got a sales job, I don't care if you report to your work every day, you're a salesman. I don't care how tired you get of selling that same product. You got to sell it next day and the next day and the next day. It's the same thing for this truth. I don't care how much you get tired of going over the curses in Deuteronomy 28. Somebody hasn't heard it before. You have to keep selling. You have to keep selling, right? I got 2 more verses real quick. Let's see. Romans 12:1. The last verse, you got to stay tuned to the last verse, man. The last verse is something I came across, and it's very mighty. It brings everything full circle, right? But I'm going to go to this, right? Romans 12:1. This is a classic too. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies as living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the God, which is your reasonable service. We present our bodies. That's why we go out into the highways and byways, right? That's why we risk our jobs by talking to our brothers and sisters at work about the truth, about the gospel, right? That's why we risk our health. We risk all these things, our safety, because we understand that, hey, look, man, we got to get this out there. I might die, but if this person gets it, hey, look, his whole household might be saved, right? His whole household might get it. I might die in this. I'm in this deep alley right now, and this man right here, he's about to kill so-and-so. Anything can happen, but if I get to him, hey, look, I might die, but he might have the keys to unlock a whole bunch of stuff out here, right? We risk a lot. We present our bodies as a living sacrifice. We're no more living for ourselves no more. We're do boys and do girls for the Most High. And with that comes, hey, look, we got to do what we got to do. We no more living for ourselves no more. We're employed. If you want to keep your job, any man looking that put his hand to the plow looking bad is not fit for the kingdom of God. That simple, right? I'm going to get to my last precept. It's 8:45, man. And that's exactly when I wanted to kind of scooch up out of here. I wanted to keep this short but powerful and edifying. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 1:21. 1 Corinthians 1:21. If you haven't read this before, man, write it down. And I gotta get faster on my actual sword. I've been spoiled using my phone and my laptop too much, man. I got to get back to using my actual sword, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse number 21. If you haven't read this before, write this down, man. This is talking about salvation, right? Verse 21, and it reads, for after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching. What pleased God? The foolishness of our preaching, right? And what is it going to do? To save them that believe. God is pleased by the foolishness of our preaching. It's foolish to go out on a street corner every week to tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that you are the people of the book, of the people of the Bible, and we got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments week in and week out. You know, they say the definition of insanity is doing something over and over again, expecting different results. We're insane every week. We're insane. But what did the Most High say? It pleases the Most High from the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. We are literally going to be saved by spreading this gospel, by multiplying our talents. Yes, we have to keep these commandments ourselves. Yes, that's a part of it. Yes, we have to keep the faith of Christ, right? But we are also being saved by multiplying our talents, by spreading the gospel. This is the number one thing Christ wanted us to do while he was here. Before he left, he kept getting us prepared, giving us all the information that we needed. So when he was gone, we can continue. Right? The foolishness of our preaching is what's going to save us. 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 21. It says it plain upon tables. Right? When we go back to the parable, the principal parable for today, multiplying your talents, the one that did not multiply his talents, that still had that one, what was he called? He was called wicked, slothful, right? He was told to depart from him because you can't be selfish. You can't be selfish in this truth. It's not just for you. It's for everybody. You can't just keep it to yourself. You can't just be like one of those guys where you hear a conversation and somebody's like, yeah, I knew about that. So many times, just the other week, just last weekend, so many times we talk to people on the street corners, right? And it'd be a group of 3-4 friends. One of them heard of the Israelites, right? And they hang out every day. One of them heard of the Israelites and believes that we're the people of the book, and the rest of the three never heard it before. And we asked, dang, you never told your mans? You never told your posse over here? Nah, he ain't never told us that. No, she ain't never told us that. Man, you know, I be trying to tell y'all, bro, that should not happen. That should not, bro, people that you hang out with on a daily, that's terrible. That's terrible. We have to multiply our talent. Stop shying away from the opportunities. We got to get that zeal back, as if it's 2019, 2020 and the pandemic hit in the world and we think the world's about to end. We got to get back to that. Like we were talking about earlier, man, that principality of slothfulness, contentment, complacency has happened, but now it's time to get back on that grind, man, right? We got to break through. We got to remember to multiply these talents. And that's why this video is going to be called The Most Slept On Commandment. The most slept on commandment is multiplying your talents, spreading this gospel, going out, teaching all nations, bidding them to do what I've commanded you to do also, right? The most slept on commandment. What did the brother say? Better to give than to receive. Give your knowledge, give wisdom, give your understanding, give your edification, right? Those are things that that don't have to have an end time. I teach one person and they teach the next, right? It's an ongoing cycle. That's one thing that we have to do. Can't keep it to ourselves, guys. Can't dig it into the earth, cover it up, and wait for Christ to come back, because he's expecting more. It's fishing season, and we're called to be fishers of men, right? But with that, I'm Brother Donald. It's been another short, hopefully edifying Think About It Thursday. This video hopefully will be on our YouTube as well. Follow us on the Hopeful Elect, link in our bio. But with that, man, I say shalom, shalom, and peace.